He has pale skin, but he has rather dark hair and eyes. Now, with all these features taken into account, especially the pigmentation and the skeletal metrics, the shape of his skull and his height, I think that he is mostly Denarid. This is a very common and widespread continental European type, especially in the Balkans, but also found throughout Central Europe, especially in the Carpathian Mountains. The reason why his look is so distinct and kind of odd is because he's Carpathian mixed with Ponted. Ponted is a Mediterranean subtype found throughout the Black Sea and up into parts of Ukraine, Poland, etc., all throughout there and into the Balkans. So if I had to guess, his ancestors probably came from somewhere in Ukraine. And I will admit that there is a little bit of a Jewish look to him. If you look at the eyes, the nose, there's some very subtle Assyroid traits as well, kind of that Armenoid variant that's quite typical of Jews, comes out of
რაღაც ხმა გავიგე და საიდან გავიგე ხმა? მართლა გავიგე რაღაც ხმა.
Mesopotamia, from the Babylonian exile and all that. So that's there as well. Alright, with his phenotype out of the way, we can finally get into his physiognomy and personality. We're going to start off with his side profile, which will tell us about his temperament and inborn characteristics. Now, as you can see from his youth, he started out as a quite choleric person. This means that he was willful, bossy, commanding, thought, planned, and acted in the long term. Very kind of unsensitive seeming, very focused on work. A positive pessimist who very acutely saw and identified all the problems of the world, but instead of being discouraged by this, he was actually
რა ხდება? რატო გაჭედა ისევ? ისევ გაჭედა ერთი წამით რაღაცნაირად უნდა გადავიყვანო. თორე ჭედავს პლეიერი და მართლა ანუ ყველაზე ცუდი ამბავი ის არის რომ არ ვიცი რატომ ჭედავს, ანუ რატო ყინავს კადრს. ეგ არის ყველაზე ცუდი ამბავი რა. რომ არ ვიცი რატომ. არ ვიცი. კაი, ერთი წამით. გადავიყვან ამაზე, მერე ისევ ამაზე და ახლა წესით უნდა გაგრძელდეს. რა არ ვიცი რა ხდება მართლა.
line has changed significantly. He got kind of fat around there. That is a sign of a transition from a choleric temperament to a more phlegmatic temperament. What does this mean? Well, it means that he is still willful, bossy, and commanding, but his energy is a lot less intense. Cholerics are long-term people in the sense of an Energizer bunny. They just keep going and going and going and never stop. They have very little need for sleep. Phlegmatics are the same, but they're much more slow and steady, much more subtle, tolerant, enduring. They can take a lot. Whereas a choleric's energy is more like a machine gun, phlegmatic's energy is more like that of a tank. They're very powerful themselves and they can do offense well, but their strong suit is in defense. It is in endurance and going for the long term. And we see that as the longest